Hey guys, it's Swishy. So Killstagram is one of my favorite webtoons that tackles some hefty topics. Remy Doe is the focus, and she is a gorgeous, gorgeous girl that she posts her entire life on social media. She has a high following and a large backing. However, with her constant post, she leaves room for people to stalk her, and they do. They take those opportunities, guys. And so eventually she began to favor her online self over her friends, and she starts to lose everyone she knows due to that stalker. And it's filled with so many twists and turns. It has about as many layers as a pastry. I'll say this is such a rough hack of a explanation for this series, as I don't want to spoil anything. If you haven't read it, please go after this video, go read it. Trust me, it's worth it. Now, I will say nothing is perfect. I feel that everything's open to criticism, so I'll go ahead and insert my own. I feel some of the twists were so back and forth, it was a little jarring for say, because one moment it's this, one moment it's that, and it's just so flippy floppy. And I bet if someone's life is falling apart before their eyes and they're losing everything and everyone they know, I feel they'd probably latch onto every small bit of hope as well. They wouldn't exactly be the most perfect in that situation. Even in real life, even though we all claim to be, I feel like we would all not do too hot, you know what I mean? But my main gripe has to be a character design of one of the stalkers. It's too otherworldly, alright? It's with how serious the topics are and how pretty well. I'm pretty sure this comic takes. This comic takes itself pretty seriously, okay? It does. So I feel it's a really poor choice of design, and it takes away from the feel and focus. They should have done a social outcast character design still, as that's the point of the character, but maybe more on the lines of a fat, sweaty nerd, or perhaps I don't know, maybe have burns, but make them match the art style of the others. I the eyes of burn victims don't do that. Okay, it's jarring. It's weird. It doesn't look right, and it takes away from the whole feel of don't judge a book by a cover, because people will disconnect from it, from them to it, because it's too fictional for them to connect to, and I feel like that's shown in the comments that we'll go over a little later. So how the heck does this webtoon expose the users of webtoon? Well, believe it or not, the danger of posting too much, judging a person by the cover, your friends being the ones in real life, not on social media, none of these are the main points of this webtoon. They're all pretty big points, but none of them are the main point. The main point is with a very heavy ending, and it calls out how flippy society is. That's a way to word it, flippy. How back and forth, wishy-washy, you know? And it will not hesitate to completely destroy someone over anything. In one moment, you'll fully love, and the next, death sentence. Just like that. That's how people are. And so, in the end, Remy gained feelings for the stalker. Now, this is not due to Stockholm Syndrome or some edgy stalking love that Webtoon usually loves. This is more mainly due to the past that they shared or mirrored. Okay, so Remy grew up without a family. Stalker grew up being constantly bullied for her appearance. Social media was the overall way their paths crossed. Okay, for Remy, it saved her life and allowed her to become a star of sorts. But for the stalker, it ruined their life and killed their entire family. Social media is really a double edged sword. Wait, hold on. I digress. Not social media. It's the people using social media. The users, okay? Not the social media does nothing. It's as dangerous as a bunny, for say. It's how people use it that cause the issues. Um, because if no one was on it, social media won't actively go out there trying to kill people in their sleep. All right, that's not how social media works. It's um, it's really based on the choices of society that have the impact. So one moment they hated Remy due to a past assault, and they flipped to be on her side. For the stalker, they briefly flipped on their side, but the corrupted surgeon used Remy to post a video to dismay her, and society quickly flipped to be completely against the stalker, and more so than before, because Remy's a cute girl, and you got a cute girl bruise. You have to protect that, dude. You have to protect that damsel. So screw the ugly troll. Protect the girl, okay? Protect the girl of your dreams. That's basically what happens. It's awful. Now, the one thing I'll say is that Remy's following once again flips against her at the end after seeing her try to protect the stalker. To make it clear, The webtoon is not trying to claim the audience that the actions of others make it okay for you to do wrongdoings. No, the characters even accept themselves what they did was wrong, and that they need to make amends for those actions. Okay, what this is saying is that whether or not you do it virtually or in person, you are at fault. That is the purpose, all right? Along with saying how flippy it is, but like it's saying with this ending message that you're still the killer whether or not you're behind a screen. um and society just loves to ruin people's lives, and it shows just how preventable all of this could have been if just society wasn't as flippy as it was. Now, enough about the webtoon itself. Let's talk about these commenters. Oh my gosh, these commenters. They're the reason why I wanted to make this video. Because of how tone deaf some of them are, okay? It's shocking, and I just really want to share this treat with you. So I went ahead and pulled out some of these comment types that I really want to discuss. And I'll say on the side, I am so annoyed with how flooded the comment section is with the whole, where is season 2? I need season 2. Gimme. It is immature at best, okay? And it gets nothing done. And it just made my job harder too, along with it, because I had to keep scrolling through these stupid, I need season 2. Where is it? It's been a year crap. And for hours almost, I think it was more of just an hour, but still it felt like hours, trying to find the reactions, the people that to the webtoons that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, there are also some commenters too that got the message, but not a lot did. So at the start of the whole series, many of the commenters were saying Remy's a horrible person and deserves to die, that she's beyond stupid, and unless that she has a sad backstory, she has no excuse for herself, and they support the killer. What? That she's too stuck up and thinks too highly of herself, and they justify these statements because Remy is a confident, pretty girl that doesn't take any bullying from others. Therefore, she deserves the hate, because how dare she be pretty and confident? Disgusting human being right there. And so as it progressed, people were saying that she's too stupid and that she basically wants to die. And so when Remy didn't give a guy her number, people in the comments threw a fit saying she has no right to give her number, that she pretended the guy was nothing, and that he's so much more than she deserves, and they would happily take that poor guy's number. And I mean, it's kind of funny because a few moments ago they were saying she's too stupid, okay, to protect herself, but now she's having a stalker and stuff and rejects a guy giving her the number because she's, nervous of people. And they say, how dare she? What? You can't say she's stupid and then when she makes a smart decision go, you freaking woman. That's basically the nicest way I could put it, that they said it. It's awful, dude. Now, there were people sexualizing the stalker, and Remy's thinking it would be hot to get them together, because nothing's better than bed than being chased down with a hammer, because that's what we're into, dude. And there were people upset that the trans wasn't getting much focus, and that was an action a character took to hide and change their identity, because how dare, okay, a trans person do something evil? Only straight and non-trans people do evil things, okay? If you have it any other way, it's phobic at best. And I'll make it clear, it's not they were evil because they were trans. In fact, they didn't even say they were trans until like really late in the comic. Their whole thing wasn't transphobia and it's evil and stuff. I mean, if that was their point, they did a lackluster job of doing that. I'll say that for sure. It wasn't their point, okay? That's what I'm saying. But now, in terms of the ending sequence comments, many were missing the entire point of the ending and the message it was sending. They were just completely oblivious. In fact, people needed to spoon feed them next to get it straight. And even when they were spoon fed, they were like, no. So many said the stalker had no excuse, and that how they expect us to forgive him, that they lived a perfect life, which, no, they were bullied and rejected from society to the point the family committed mass suicide. The comic never expected us to forgive either. That was never the point. It was bringing attention to how our actions can destroy and alter people for the worse, even if our faces are hidden, but no one wanted to accept it. Next to no one wanted to accept it, I should say. It's awful. And then they said that the stalker was stupid for getting plastic surgery because it take inspiration from the awful comic True Beauty. Oh my goodness, I've heard so much about that. That is just, it's saying you're ugly and wear makeup to cover it. Otherwise, you're a worthless piece of trash of a human, basically. And these commenters are saying, take inspiration from that. You're a worthless piece of trash of a human being unless you get makeup done. But if you do plastic surgery, you are also stupid. So do the makeup. What? The toxicity is strong. It's like we're swimming in acid down in Webtoon. My goodness. It's awful. All right. And then people were saying she's stupid for not going after the doctor. And how dare the doctor barely get off with any punishment? Well, let me tell you. The doctor was only one of the evil cogs in the machine, okay, that caused all this events. And I noticed no one was saying about, oh man, the commenters online need to be punished because they caused so much death and destruction. Nope, they're fine. You want to know why? Because a lot of those commenters here probably do the same thing without thinking of it. Because people don't connect it. They're like, I'm hidden, therefore it's okay for me to say. But no, it still has the same impact, dude. You are still actively hurting people, all right? Don't make those comments. And no one said, oh man, they need to be punished for doing what they did. It was only the doctor. I found that weird. Very selective choice of who's evil, dude. Very selective. Now, people said Remy did nothing, that she just made a few comments, never actually killed anyone, unlike the stalker who killed people. Some say it would be a better message if the stalker didn't kill, and I say no, it wouldn't. You want to know why? Because the point, as I said earlier, is to say it doesn't matter if you are actively stabbing someone or if you trigger someone to stab themselves. You are the killer or part of the reason of their death, okay? Whether you're behind a screen or in person, okay? That's the whole point. That's the message it's trying to send, because it's a really big ongoing issue in society and people just can't accept blame. They can't accept what they do is wrong and they just want to be hateful. It's not okay, dude. It's not. That's why I love this webtoon, not gonna lie. It's one of my favorites. Now, with Remy, and they were also saying, like, oh, she's so pretty that she really doesn't deserve it, which is funny because at the start they were saying she's so pretty that she's stuck-up woman and doesn't deserve anything, and now, after the sad backstory, they're like, oh, but she's so pretty, she had a sad backstory, but the troll face with the sad backstory, no, that's no excuse, because she's ugly. Now, there was some trying to say Remy had Stockholm Syndrome, which, no. Okay, let me make that clear. Remy grew attached not to the abuser, but to the person that uplifted her life during her darkest moment, alright? This was before she knew this person was stalking them. This was the person that was there comforting her through her darkest time. And Stockholm is when the victim gains attraction to the known abuser over time. It's a horrible, horrible condition, and not at all what Remy went through. Remy had no clue the guy was the one stalking her and basically was her abuser. Now, afterwards, Remy didn't confess feelings of friendships and saying she wanted to die as well. Not because of blind attraction, but she did it because, unlike the commenters, Remy realized that while she went through her hardship, she still also pulled the gun on this person's family, basically. Like, she was a huge, huge impact on ruining this person's life and causing their family to die. I mean, yes, she didn't control the mass swarms of people, but she didn't say anything against it. Once it was done, and she didn't hesitate until now. Now she realized, which I wish the commenters would, but no. Now, there was some twisting the ending to have some political meaning to what they wanted. I was a little confused, okay? So there was one saying that it's really sexist saying women are pieces of crap that can't own up to anything, and this really proves how women just always blame shift. And I'm just like, a little weird you say that, because at the end Remy admitted to what they did wrong, so they were, actively improving and owning up to it. And it's not even supposed, like, why would you look at such a thing and just instantly try to push a political agenda like that. Like, what the heck is wrong in your head? All right, something's missing. That's all I gotta say. Now, I think the funniest comment award goes to a person who started to comment with, "No, I do not mean to support bullying." Keyword, whenever anyone says something I do not mean at the start of their thing, almost like 90% of the time, they're going to say something not okay. And this person falls in that 90% of the time. Basically saying the bullying was justified. So they said Remy's feelings not was only feels right to us because we knew what was happening. To others, they don't know what's happening, therefore it's okay to hate on them. It's like, I thought the whole point of the webtoon was, hey, don't hate on things you don't understand. And this person's like, well, normally most people wouldn't know, so like what they're doing is completely fudged up, dude, so we deserve to hate on them. And it's like, excuse me, what? Did you hear what I said? Are you listening? Like, these people have these alternative agendas, I swear, that they just want to push to feel better about themselves for hating on people. Now, now I know for this bit, alright, let me make this clear. I'm sorry for taking a second, but I have to think about how to word this, because it's a little bit darker. A little harsh, I'll say. I read this a while ago, okay, so there's comments that are deleted, or they were pushed so far down that I couldn't go through all, like, 15,000 plus comments to find. Unfortunately, I don't have all the time in the world. And there's not a search engine in Webtoon for comments. But I know what I read when I read this, alright? And you can take this with a grain of salt, because I don't have, actual proof. But I'm still going to read what I read, because I know what I saw. Anyways, but there was people saying that this webtoon's horrible because it's taking away attention from the true victims of society, the ugly people, and that pretty people rarely ever have issues, which, no, there shouldn't be in society like, oh, ugly people have it worse, or pretty people have it worse, or anything like that. And that's not what the thing's going at, which is why they had an ugly and a pretty person to show, hey, everyone has their issues. It's just shown differently. It's not okay to judge what you don't understand. But no, they didn't take that. And it's weird because, the stalker at the start had the same mindset that Remy had a perfect life and took away their life, and therefore Remy deserves to have their life taken away. When, in the end, the stalker realized Remy grew up with the same life as they did, just about the same, and regretted doing it to Remy. So, like, it's like the reader completely just fudge, dude. The stupidity to just block that out. It's something special. A lot of these webtoon comments are special. Now, some kind of understood the message of the story, but they fell into a blame-shifting trap. There was this person saying, it's an interesting take on how toxic Korean society is to women. I'm like, no. It's a take on how toxic society is as a whole. While the main lead was a woman, it's men or women, really. It's toxic in general, not just in Korea. Weirdo. And another said along the lines of, social media kills people daily. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with this statement. I don't hate that person for saying this. It's not as stupid as the others, but I'll say it's wrong for a way. Because, let's say, social media is like a gun, let's say, for this instance. It's an inanimate object, can't move, can't do anything, right? And a person has to pull the trigger for a gun for it to do harm. A person has to make that choice and point the gun at whoever or whatever they wish to hit, Otherwise, the gun does nothing. It's sitting there. It's useless. It doesn't go out walking on two legs and start shooting up a freaking mall or whatever. There's a person behind that. And it's the same thing with social media. Social media itself isn't going out actively targeting people. It's a person behind that screen that is. And that's the point of it. And for a lot of people, they keep saying, oh, social media this, social media that. It's no. It's the population. Social media just makes it easier for the population to show their true colors, unfortunately. but I don't think social media should be banned, taken away. In terms, like, it has a lot of good. A lot of people share their interests and everything else, share information. It has a lot of potential good. It's just the people, dude. So that pretty much sums up the primary issues I saw from the users. And a lot of it is just disgusting. Sure, okay. This is a fictional character. This is a fictional setting of sorts. But these people are showing their true colors, okay? What their beliefs are and what they feel with people. What's stopping them from doing this to another person? Because they read this and their first reaction's this, which tells you more than likely when they see someone, like, let's say at the start of the thing where commenters were saying, oh, she's too pretty and too high up on her high horse, someone knock her down. When someone sees a pretty woman in real life and she's confident and stuff, people often, there's some, not everyone, but there are some people who stare at her and say, what a hissy fit. How dare she? She doesn't deserve anything like that. And that's those people that they're exposing themselves. And that's why I feel like it's important to point it out, because no, it goes beyond just the fictional setting. It's something that happens on the daily. Like, as another said, like, people die from this stuff. Like, they kill themselves often because of this. And it's important to make an end to it. And I feel like this comic just is perfect for this. Now, that's all I have to say on Killstagram. I hope you are inspired to read it, or perhaps you already read it and this hopefully shined some kind of new light on your understanding. I know a portion of this was all ranting on the comments, but sometimes ranting is needed. Gosh, lead to stupidity. Now, I hope you guys have a good one. Don't forget, like, subscribe. The same thing as subs. Comment down below your thoughts, okay? Tell me what you thought of all this. What are your thoughts on Killstagram? Do you have anything you want to input about the users or anything? And, well, that's all I have, so I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.